Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today we are going to be doing something slightly different. It's going to be a review for pet strollers. Here you're looking at the Bicystar pet stroller, and now you're looking at the RooDo pet stroller, which is a little smaller than the last one you were just looking at. And for the third stroller, we'll also be looking at this Petbobi pet stroller as the largest version of the strollers that we were testing for this particular video. First up is this Bicystar pet stroller. We didn't have this one first. We had the RooDo stroller, which is a little bit smaller, and it was small enough that we decided to choose a stroller in a different configuration with larger dimensions. That's the stroller you're looking at now. And we did that because we wanted to make sure our pup had a little bit more room on the inside of the stroller. Although based on the way that our pup likes to stand up in the stroller while it's being wheeled around, even this slightly larger configuration seems to be a somewhat tight fit, depending on where our pup tends to stand. As you can see in here, he's quite comfortable. Sometimes he uses his nose to balance against the screen inside of this one. This stroller also happens to have a shock system that's very responsive, and I'm trying to demonstrate that in this video. Might be hard to see, but it's a very bouncy ride. So bouncy that even the cat was along to walk alongside this stroller and not get bothered by any of the noises that the bumps along the road would make. Next up is the RooDo that we started with. As you can see, the screen is considerably closer to our pup's face, and he's having to tilt his face downwards in order to remain comfortable in the stroller. This RooDo is by far the lightest and most compact stroller when folded down, and it's so compact and light that I actually designed a system using some camera straps that I had to carry the stroller as a backpack. Here I'm checking out the suspension of this stroller, which is also very responsive and springy. And despite its small size, it still has a tremendous amount of clearance for going over curbs and whatnot. All right, so far we've seen two pet strollers, one by RooDo and one by Bicystar, and they each have some pretty amazing features. The RooDo has some branding on it, but it's got basically some amazingly intuitive visual cues that tell you what you're supposed to do at what point. To further clarify that, what I mean is the latching system for this stroller is made in red, as are the braking mechanisms. To me, those are pretty neat details. And then we have the Bicystar cart, and the Bicystar is the larger cart that we saw initially. The Bicystar doesn't have any real visible branding. It's all black with the exception of the accent handles that are brown. The next one that we're going to review is the Petbobi pet stroller, and I keep hesitating because it's coming up with these terms. It's basically a utility item that we use and that our pet gets an immense benefit from, because as he's walking, he gets a little bit tired in some instances, and he just wants to take a break. And he'll be breathing kind of hard, kind of like you see me in my more recent videos. If you have tuned into this channel regularly, you know what I'm talking about. Right now, because of the return policy for the vendor that sells these items, I'll put the link in the description. It's easy to obtain brand new items, and you have a really great return policy with these industries. And I'm sure they do things with these things that come back to them, if they do in fact come back to them. I really don't like the idea that I bought 3 carts to try and figure out which the right one was, but just like when I did my watch review, I'll try to remember to put a link for this video in the description area. If I forget, go ahead and click on the comments and enter a comment asking me to do so. The point of this is that through a matter of unusual circumstances, I wound up being the one who's testing these 3 carts out.
Now, as you can see, that cart has a lot of visibility. So does this one. It's just harder to see. And also it doesn't have the lower area visibility, but it has a nice built-in sturdy basket that you theoretically can use to transport your pet conveniently, as long as it fits, as long as your pet fits, whether it's a cat, rabbits, a duck, or what have you.
So by that cart having a basket, I literally mean that there's a detachable basket that makes up this particular cart. And I love the latching system, by the way, for the screen or the bonnet, I guess. But either way, the cart is very easy to operate, and I rather like this feature. Again, this is the Bicystar pet stroller.
But anyway, this cart is, I think, pretty amazing for the detachable basket feature. And we're about to look at the third cart. And after we look at the third cart, we'll have a discussion and try to decide which one we should choose. I would appreciate it if you clicked on the subscribe button, the thumbs up, and yeah, even if you didn't like this video, go ahead and click on the thumbs down, you prick, and that'll be fine. I listened to this this one presenter on a channel called something like Botany, Crime Pays but Botany Doesn't, I think, something along those lines. Yeah, it's Crime Pays but Botany Doesn't. That's it sounds like it. But anyway, his presentations have a lot of flavor, and yeah, you would understand what I was talking about if you were still listening and understanding what I'm talking about here, you prick. But thanks for watching so far is basically what I'm trying to say. Click on subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. And more than that, I hope you're having a great day. There's a lot of different things that can keep us down. And like I say, you know, some people will keep trying to make things better, not just for themselves. I believe that the people who have manufactured these items are making things better for everyone, not just themselves. People who manufacture instruments of this nature, I know that they're doing something of positivity, and a lot of you who are watching are overall positive as well. And so I feel like that's why some of the circumstances around me have been changing. I hope you're having a great day. Again, stay tuned. Let's see what happens next with the third stroller.
Check out the amazing clearance on this Petbobi stroller. This stroller is much larger, or I shouldn't say much larger, but it's definitely larger than the other two strollers that we just looked at. Let's see what it does. This stroller's suspension system isn't as responsive, however, the basket is much lower to the ground, and so I believe our pet, and probably your pet, will feel more stable as it rides along if it prefers to stand up, just like our pet is doing right now. After a little bit more time and with a little bit more positive reinforcement, I expect our pet to begin to lay down on the stroller ride home. In this clip, I'm zooming in on the braking system. It's right in the middle, and here's the mechanism that you operate to collapse the stroller. Like the other two strollers, this one has plenty of clearance, and perhaps it felt a little bit more stable to our pet, and also quite a bit more open for our pet. And while we will settle on one stroller, I want to name off some features for each of these strollers that you might appreciate. The RooDo doesn't have any reflective tape like the Petbobi stroller does. That's what I'm showing you here. The silver stripes are reflective. And the Bicystar doesn't have any kind of reflective details either. So if you want to, I guess, level up your safety margin, you probably would opt for the Petbobi stroller just to have a little bit more visibility. The absolute lightest and most portable is the RooDo. The RooDo is a very capable stroller that measures in at just under 38 inches high in terms of the handle placement. And as I indicated, I was able to use a camera strap system to make some backpack straps for this stroller so that we could carry it in the event that we wanted to just take off walking and keep our hands free. Next, we move on to the Petbobi. Now, this one is by far the heaviest stroller, but definitely one of the roomiest. Its handle height came in at approximately 38.5 inches. Next up is the Bicystar stroller. One of the more noteworthy things is that the handle is adjustable. In this picture, you can see the handle's at almost the 43-inch mark, important for taller people. This stroller also transforms to being a standalone basket, as mentioned previously. Based on the online documentation, all three of these strollers should have fit our pet just fine. I want to go over that a little bit more here. In some cases, it was said that the base of the tail to basically to the pet's neck would be the standard to use for determining whether your pet would fit easily into these carts. If you saw, my pet was 23 inches laying down, and this cart, the RooDo, is 22 inches long. While this RooDo could work for our napping pet, when our pet is standing up, the dimensions are too confining, despite what is shown on the RooDo specifications images. So the next cart, the Bicystar cart, is 26 inches long, which is about 4 inches longer than the RooDo, and according to their site, if your pet's body length is less than 23 inches, this cart should work fine for your pet. Because of the overall upright design of the cart, this was mostly true. As you can see, there was plenty of room for our pup to move his head around and enjoy the view from this cart, even with the bonnet fully engaged. Next is the roomiest and widest pet stroller that we tested, the Petbobi. It's wide enough that we have to carefully maneuver it between the door frame. This pet stroller has about 7.5 inches more at the floor than the Bicystar stroller that our pet seemed to enjoy. So which stroller would you end up choosing? The collapsible one that you could make into a backpack? The gigantic one that your dog could turn circles in? Or the one that has a detachable basket? Let us know in the description. We would appreciate it. Till next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing. And hope you have a great day. There are probably a lot of comprehensive videos that show you how to operate these things, how they collapse, how they are restored to their stroller format, and so forth. In this particular video, I just wanted to give a high-level overview for anyone who's going through a choice selection like this and who is only relying on Amazon feedback and information that's provided on the description for these items. While I'm still not 100% sold on any one specific stroller, I can tell you that the two roomier strollers are probably the best option for our pet. And so we'll probably be going with one of those two that has more room, whether that's the Petbobi or the Bicystar. In the meantime, I hope that other people begin sharing informative videos like this where we can help each other to make better decisions along the way.